Hello, friends. Welcome back. Today, I'll discuss about demand deposit from the chapter Money and Credit. So, first question is, what is demand deposit? Children, demand deposit means when a person earns the money, if after expenditure, if he has left out money or any extra money or surplus money with him, then he has to deposit it with the bank. Then, first of all, what is bank? The question is, what is bank? Where, what is that type of bank? Where, why the person keeps the money there? So, let us discuss in the detail. When a person earns his salary and the extra amount in a month, if he gets, then he save it with bank. What is bank? Bank is a financial institution where the everyday transaction is done with related to money and credit. Bank takes money from the depositor and gives loan to the people who needs. So demand deposits means when a person deposits his extra money with the bank, that money he can withdraw at any moment on demand. When he is withdrawing the money from the bank, this is known as demand deposit. Since the person is withdrawing the money from the bank on his demand, is known as demand deposit. Demand deposit, in two ways a person can withdraw: one from check, another is from ATM. So generally one question will arise: how does demand deposit help to the bank? The depositors are able to save their money and earn interest. And when they deposit the extra money with the bank, then the bank is going to give the extra what one amount that called rate of interest. That means he has kept the money in the bank, and for that he is going to earn the rate of interest. Bank will give the rate of interest and interest to the depositors. Then deposits are also lent out to the borrowers. These deposits, whatever it was remained or it was saved in the bank, that will be given to the borrowers who needs or who apply for the loans. So the loans are used for investment. Suppose that person who has applied for the loan, that loan he will take and will invest in certain business. Then for that, that means he has taken the money for any productive work. So he will utilize that money for the investment into business. That investment definitely will increase the GDP. At the same time, his personal income will also grow, and his income will grow. At the same time, country's income also will grow. In this way, the GDP also will increase, that is gross domestic product. Higher GDP leads to more jobs. Whenever the GDP will increase, that will lead to more employment. So in this way, the demand deposits helps to the people. So what, as I told, loan. So what is loan? Loan means the credit. In other words, it is known as credit. Credit is generally defined as a contractual agreement. It is a agreement or contractual agreement in which a borrower receives something of value now and agrees to repay the lender at a later date, generally with interest. He takes the loan or the certain amount either from the bank or any source, right? And with agreement that he will pay the amount later on or in future with certain rate of interest. Okay, this is called the credit. As I've told, what is bank? Bank is a financial institution which deals with the money and credit as its regular course of time and for the business work. It accepts the deposits from the depositors and grant loans to the needy borrowers. What are the functions of banks? Here is the question. The functions are: it accepts the deposits from the depositors. Number two, it grants the loan or gives the money to the borrower. It provides safety to valuable. valuable of customers, all the valuables of the customers, they will give the safety, like your gold, your house, all those are called the your valuables, your belongings. Yes. Transferring funds from one place to another for customer, it can also transfer the money from one place to another for the customer, accepts payment for customer, making payment on behalf of customer, like you're paying electricity bill, insurance premium, or any other things. Okay, so these are the work of or functions of bank. Generally, banks work as the mediator between the depositors and the borrowers. Generally, what does the bank do? Suppose the person A has deposited his extra amount with the bank. Similarly, n number of people are there. Those people who will deposit the what money with bank, then the bank with that money, what it does? The bank, what it does, it keeps a certain percentage of amount it has to hold. That means suppose 100 out of 100%, 15% it has to hold, or it has to keep it with, so that with it, so that it can that is called the minimum balance. The bank has to maintain a minimum balance of cash, so that, because the bank also doesn't know that whenever the person will need, then they can come to the bank, and who needs the money at what time, he doesn't it doesn't know. So in this case, the bank maintains a minimum cash balance to meet the regular transactions, right? If a person comes from the comes and asks the any amount of money from the bank, then at from that deposit 15% it can give. Similarly, banks acts as mediator, I told, depositor and between the depositor and borrowers. If the borrower goes to the bank and asks for the loan, then bank is able to give the loan. From that amount, the deposited amount, it can also give the loan, right? In that case, what does the bank do? The main source of bank's money is the main source of money of the bank is the difference amount of the rate of interest. You know that the bank gives certain amount of rate of interest to the depositor when they deposit the money with the bank. Suppose it is 2% of the rate of interest it is giving to the depositor, but it charges a higher amount from the borrower. Borrower takes the loan or a credit from the bank, and he has to pay. Suppose the example you can say it is called 10%, right? Or 10 rupees, or 10%, right? 2% there, and here it is 10%. So that remaining 8%, the difference amount is called 8%. That 8% is called the bank's what main source of income. Similarly, as it is called main source, other source also are there, that bank deposited money, the 15% then will be cash reserve, and after that those some amount of money will be invested in stock market, share market, and in this way the banks can multiply the, or it can grow the money. It is not that it will keep that money whole of year, right? So it has to grow the money, so that it will be able to give the rate of interest to the people, and it can do as the mediator work between the depositor and the borrowers. So this is the main function of the bank. There are two type of deposits generally we know, that is one is demand deposit, another is term deposit. Demand deposit means at any time on demand of the customer can withdraw from the bank. It can have two, it includes two accounts. One is current account, another is saving account. And here the rate of interest will fluctuate. Time or term deposit. Here the withdrawal of the money can be possible after a certain period of time, right? So it includes two accounts. One is fixed deposit account, another is recurring deposit account. And here the rate of interest is fixed. Suppose the moment you have started or you have fixed the amount in any account, then suppose 8%, then whenever the suppose 5 years the term will be matured, or so deposit will be matured, then after that you will get whatever the amount will be there on 8% rate of interest, you will get the total amount. Okay. Similarly, recurring deposit, the difference between fixed deposit and recurring deposits are, recurring deposits are those deposits which are every month the person has to give to the bank. with a fixed amount of fixed rate of interest. Okay, and whenever you will after maturity, suppose 5 years or 10 years, then the same amount of money you will get as whenever you have started that what recurring deposit. Okay, but fixed deposit, once you will fix yearly to or what 5 years or 6 years, it depends upon the person. Okay, four major type of deposits account. I told the current deposit account mainly what it does. No restriction in deposit. You can deposit anything. No restriction in withdrawal. No interest is paid by the bank on deposit. No interest is paid. I told the fluctuation will be there. Either the current account, nowadays some banks are giving no interest means in certain case it is but very low one. Okay, very low interest. Main purpose of opening such account is to provide safety to the customer's cash. Instead of keeping the money at home, and it is very risky to keep the money at home, it is better to keep that extra amount of money in the bank, so that it is called the we can get the safety to our cash. Rich businessmen and organizations open such account. Okay, because they have much money and they can keep on the regular basis. Saving deposits account. No restrictions in deposit. Withdrawal is possible at any time subject to the restrictions. Low rate, that is 3 to 4% of interest is paid by the bank on deposit. Main purpose of opening such account is savings and meeting uncertain urgencies. Suppose a person is suppose regularly he is saving the money and 3 to 4% the bank will give the rate of interest on that deposited money. And if any case in the person needs a lot what good amount of money for its own business or anything, he can withdraw the money at any time. Small businessmen and people with low or moderate income open such account. Recurring deposit account. Fixed amount is deposited at a fixed interest rate for a fixed period. Withdrawal is only on maturity. Maturity before, that means before the term you can't withdraw it. Good rate of interest is paid by the bank on deposit. Main purpose of opening such account is capital formation and savings. People with regular income usually opens such what accounts. Regular income means every month you have to what deduct from your salary. Okay, the next is fixed deposit account. Fixed deposit account is known that fixed amount is deposited for a fixed period. Suppose मेरे पास अभी suppose एक lottery लग गया, ठीक है, and I got 5 lakhs, and instead of keeping that in my recurrent deposit or current or saving or at home, I should give what do a fixed deposit, right? So at a time a big amount I can store in the fixed deposit. Withdrawal is only possible after the maturity period. Highest rate of interest. Main purpose of opening such account is to earn interest and save for certain future needs. People having no other investment options and with some certain future needs deposits here. Demand deposit is a modern form of money. You know the demand deposits, you will deposits and on demand you can withdraw. So four type of accounts you could understand. You could know that one is fixed deposit account, then current deposit account, saving deposit account, and recurring deposit account. Okay. So money in demand deposit can be withdrawn at any time through check, ATM, etc. It can be used to make payment on or purchase at any time through check, debit card, net banking, etc. It has purchasing power. Anything having purchasing power is called money. Therefore, demand deposit also called money. Modern form of money. Modern form of money is anything that has purchasing power, which you know already. Demand deposit is also has the purchasing power, right? So money which is equals to purchasing power. Anything has the purchasing power, that is called what? Money. So demand deposit, what is the formula? Demand deposit is equals to purchasing power is equals to money. Next comes check, because I told demand deposits can be withdrawn through check and also through ATM. So it is, that the check is just a paper, or you can say it is a written paper with which a depositor orders the banker to pay a certain amount to himself or the bearer or to a certain person. Okay, that means check is just a paper. You can see the image of the check, and it is only the paper will instruct the bank that's from my account or from the depositor account, from a person's one person's account the money will be transferred to the another one, or will be given to the another person or any third party, second party, anyone, right? What are the features of check? Check is a written document which is prescribed form provided by what? The bank. It is written by a depositor to his banker. It carries an order to pay a certain sum of money from the deposit. It is a modern form of money as it can be used to make payment. Okay, these are called the. So remember, children, what are the points here? Written document or written paper written by a depositor, order to pay, modern form of money. What are the components are here? First is signature of the depositor. It is must in the backside also of the check, and the where the signature the column will be there only you have to put the signature. Name of the pay means when to whom you want to give, whether the bearer or whether the self or whether the any third party want to give. Amount must be specific and written in both words and numbers. Date of drawing or making, and account number of the depositor. These are called what? The components of check. What are the different modern form of money we came to know? Card money, digital cash money, bank money, and credit. You're under card money, you know the debit card, credit card, smart card is all coming, right? Digital, you know, net banking, mobile banking, right? Bank money like your check, demand draft, banker's check, and credit is called the loan. So these are called the modern form of money. What is credit or loan? Credit is an arrangement in which one's financial need is satisfied with the money or resource of another with a promise to repay in future. So credit means loan, taking a certain amount of money from one source and with promise that you will pay it later with a certain rate of interest, whether it can be a formal source or informal source. Credit can be taken from both sources. One is from formal, another is informal sources. You know, this is the diagram. You can see that a person A is taking loan from B and promising either cash, goods, or services, is whatever means you can take the loan, and you will pay it later on certain extra money. Role of credit in development. See, credit has two aspects. One is positive aspect, another is negative aspect. In positive aspect, suppose a person A has taken the money and he is a farmer. He will take the money from the bank or any source, and he will utilize his money in all agricultural work, right, activities. And after harvesting, he has a good amount of production, a good production, and a profit also he earned. Then he will able to repay the loan as per the terms and condition of taking the while taking the loan. So after, so in this way, what he is, his development is done. That means he's taking the loan, utilizing in his business or any agricultural activities, getting the profit enough production, and able to get his own earning and also able to repay the loan. So in this way, at the same time as he producing the product or crops for the country, then GDP also increasing. So it is called the on, that means upward, the direction you can say upward. That means a person's development is done due to credit. Suppose the same person, suppose for example, he has taken the loan from the bank or any source and invested in his business, but due to some natural calamities or any uncertain, unavoidable conditions or problem arise, he is not able to earn his profit, neither his profit nor a better earning. So in that case, what he'll do, he will unable to repay his loan. If it is informal source, then he can take a fresh loan once again, and in this way the burden will increase. right? So this is called, in this way he will remain in the cycle of what, debt. It is called a debt trap. So there the also development is done, but development means negative development, right? So one is called positive development in the upward direction, and another is called the negative development due to the credit. So credit can pull a person from a bad condition to the good condition, and credit also can push a person from a good condition to the bad condition. So it has two aspects. Like a coin has two sides, similarly credit has two sides. One positive side, another is negative sides. Okay. So while taking the credit, you have to know, you should know the terms, right? What are the terms you have to fulfill? It includes rate of interest, mode of repayment, collateral, documentation required, etc. Four terms of credit. Four terms of credit. A person, when he takes the money, it has to see these four terms, like your rate of interest, at what rate of interest it has to take the loan, then mode of repayment, installment में देना है या full payment देना है with principal amount, or only interest you have to pay. Collateral means any asset a person owns that can make as the security amount or security what asset against the loan what has been taken from the bank or any source. Documentation required, formalities, paperwork. Here it is called paperwork. Okay. So these are called the terms of credit. One thing I did not say, that demand deposit can be withdrawn through ATM. Okay, check though you already told. I have told already. Another is ATM. ATM here, ATM is used automated teller machine. It means it is through this also nowadays. This ATM is used for a variety of purposes. Basically, frequently the people are using ATM instead of check, because ATM booths are available everywhere, and easily a person can withdraw the money from that. You know that the ATM has which contains a chip inside it, and all the details of that person is having in that chip. Whenever you insert that in that machine, ATM machine, and it will read everything, all details, and the bank would be provided one secret pin. That secret pin, when you will enter, you can get the cash money. Okay, so this is the way you can use ATM. Then sources of credit, I told two sources. One is formal, another is informal sources. Banks, NBFIs, cooperatives coming under formal sources of credit. Others are called family members, friends, traders, money lenders, then relatives. They are called informal sources credit. NBFI stands for नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस. जैसे तुम्हारा बजाज फाइनेंस हो गया, कैपिटल फाइनेंस हो गया, और भी बहुत सारे हैं, राइट? So let us discuss the difference between formal source and informal source. Basically, the formal source are controlled by the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. I have already told when Reserve Bank of India, what is Reserve Bank of India, and ये क्या करता है. Reserve Bank of India does many things. It has to supervise the work of commercial bank. ये क्या करता है? What it does, how it supervises the work of bank. The Reserve Bank of India, it is called a Central Bank of India. It had established in 1900, 1st April 1935 in Kolkata during the British period, right? Generally, ये क्या करता है? It sees everything. First of all, the main work is it issues the currencies. Second, it has to see that all banks are functioning well, and in that way, it should see that the banks are maintaining cash balance, minimum cash balance with it or not. Second, it has to see that all should be benefited from this bank. That means the bank should provide the loan to everyone, not only the rich class people, even the poor class people also should get the loan from them. Next, in the periodic details also it has to ask to the banks, whom they are giving the loan, how much with interest, and what rate of interest. It all will be given. All commercial bank will be given these records periodically to the RBI. So in that case, why it is necessary? Yes, it is required, because though no bank can utilize its autonomous power, and so that there would be financial equality. If the commercial banks are under the RBI control, then definitely they will remain what vigilant in their work, particularly the commercial. They will not use their self power or their autonomous power, and they will not create the differentiation between the group of people. Okay, so that is why the RBI is what coming under the formal source. Informal source, no such organization is there to see anyone's no one no such person or no such organization was there to control this one. Reasonable and justified rate of interest. Justified rate of interest we see from formal sources, whereas informal sources mostly high and unjust rate of interest. That means person to person the rate of interest may vary. Granted for productive purpose only. Here the banks provides the loan for productive purposes, whereas granted for any purpose, as cycle खरीदना है, as land खरीदना है, any purpose that it can grant the money under informal source. More documentation required, lots of formalities, lots of paperwork is required under this formal sources of income, whereas very less, no or less documentation required. Legal proceedings followed to recover loan amount if the borrower fails to repay. If in case the borrower fails to repay the loan, then that means legally the proceedings will be taken against that person. But here the lender can take any measure to recover the loan if the borrower fails to repay, either physically, mentally, or legally, any way, any means he can take the what measure to extract the money from the borrower. फॉर्मल सोर्सेस ऑफ क्रेडिट. फॉर्मल सोर्सेस ऑफ क्रेडिट का एडवांटेजेस क्या है? लो रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, adopt judicious policy to recovery of loan. Okay, judicious policy, that means to recover the loan, a proper judicious use of legal proceedings will be taken. Grants loan only for productive purpose and chances of falling in debt trap is less. Helps the borrowers for effective utilization of loan amount and promote development. Interest rate is fixed considering the prevailing market and economic condition, and therefore the risk of borrowers are less. Formal sources of credit. Here we will know about the disadvantage. What are the disadvantages here? Grants only secured loan. So the people without proper collateral, the person will not go to bank for borrowing the money. Long process and high documentation, which is what the uneducated people will be far away from this. Less autonomy in utilization of fund, less autonomy in utilization of fund, how the person is utilizing the fund, it is called less autonomy would be there. Difficult to get loan to meet small financial needs. Suppose a person needs 5,000 now, he cannot apply for the loan. So what difficult to get loan to meet small financial needs. It grants loans only for projects that are productive in their eyes, only for productive purpose it gives. Located at far from the borrowers, particularly in rural areas. That means the formal sources are called banks, especially the banks are very far away from the rural places. So generally the people are not access to these banks. So that is why they do not go to these banks. So these are called the limitations or disadvantages of formal sources of credit. In the next video, we will know about the advantages and disadvantages, and furthermore, in the next video, we'll see that advantages and disadvantages of informal sources of credit, right? So, till then, bye. Take care, all of you. Bye, all of you.